Welcome to Motivational Humanity. You are not alone. Good morning, everyone. Today, I want to talk about something deeply personal yet powerfully communal. The habits that shape a godly woman. Not in perfection, not in some glossy Instagram filtered way, but in the messy, vulnerable, and awe-inspiring reality of what it truly means to embody grace, love, and strength. You see, being a godly woman isn't about rules or rituals, it's about habits. And habits aren't just what we do, they're who we're becoming. Courageous faith is not about having unwavering certainty or always knowing the next step. It's about showing up in the middle of the unknown and choosing to trust anyway. It's a faith that doesn't deny fear, but stands in the tension with it, acknowledging that fear exists while refusing to let it call the shots. A godly woman doesn't have to see the whole picture to take the next step. She walks forward even when the path is unclear, believing that she's being guided by something greater than herself. This kind of faith isn't built in a moment. It's cultivated in the day-to-day grind of life. It's the choice to lean into trust when everything around you screams doubt. It's those quiet moments when you're on your knees, pouring out your worries and daring to believe that your prayers don't fall on deaf ears. It's holding on when it feels like the world is unraveling because you know, deep down, that even when you can't see it, there's a plan at work. Courageous faith doesn't mean you never question or wrestle. In fact, a godly woman embraces the wrestle. She knows that faith isn't fragile. It grows stronger when tested. When the storms of life come, and they will, she doesn't crumble because she's rooted in something deeper. She's built her life on a foundation that doesn't shake, no matter how hard the wind blows. And let's be honest, faith is often uncomfortable. It asks you to step out of the boat before you know if the water will hold you. It asks you to say yes to opportunities that feel way bigger than your capacity. It calls you to trust timing that feels too slow or too fast or just plain wrong. But that's the beauty of courageous faith. It stretches you, transforms you, and allows you to experience growth you never thought possible. A godly woman understands that faith isn't about being in control. It's about surrender. It's about letting go of the need to figure everything out and leaning into the one who already has. And in that surrender, she finds peace. Not the absence of challenges, but the presence of strength that carries her through them. Courageous faith doesn't just change her. It inspires everyone around her. When others see her walk through trials with resilience and grace, it becomes a testimony that strengthens their faith too. In the end, courageous faith isn't loud or boastful. It's quiet and steady. It's the unshakable belief that even when life doesn't make sense, there is meaning, there is purpose, and there is hope. It's the habit of trusting one small step at a time that you're being held by hands far stronger than your own. And that kind of faith, it's life-changing. Radical compassion is more than just being kind or doing nice things for others. It's about deeply seeing people, even in their most broken, messy, or unlovable moments, and choosing to love them anyway. It's not about fixing anyone or rushing to give advice. Instead, it's about showing up fully and saying, you don't have to be anything other than who you are right now, and I'll still be here. A godly woman understands that real compassion isn't conditional. It's not earned or deserved. It's freely given. This kind of compassion requires us to get uncomfortable. It's easy to offer surface level sympathy when it doesn't cost us anything, but radical compassion asks us to sit in the hard places with others. It means listening without judgment, even when their story challenges our own beliefs. It means opening up our hearts, even when it feels risky or inconvenient. A godly woman doesn't shy away from the pain of others. She leans in because she knows that love grows in those vulnerable spaces. But here's the thing about compassion. It starts at home. It's impossible to give to others what you won't give to yourself. A godly woman practices self-compassion, not out of selfishness, but because she knows that her ability to love others is directly tied to how she loves herself. She gives herself permission to rest when she's weary, grace when she falls short, and forgiveness when she messes up. And from that place of fullness, she can pour out genuine care to the people around her. Radical compassion isn't always easy. There will be times when it feels like people don't deserve it, when they've hurt us, disappointed us, or seem impossible to love. But a godly woman understands that compassion isn't about the other person's worthiness. It's about reflecting the grace she's already received. She doesn't withhold love as a form of punishment because she knows that bitterness only builds walls, and walls keep connection out. Compassion also requires boundaries. It doesn't mean saying yes to everything or letting people walk over you. True compassion sometimes looks like saying no to preserve your own well-being or offering tough love that helps someone grow. A godly woman knows that real love isn't enabling, it's empowering. She chooses to act in ways that honor both herself and the person she's loving. And here's the thing, compassion is contagious. When you show someone kindness in a moment they least expect it, it can transform their entire perspective. It creates ripples that extend far beyond what you'll ever see. A godly woman knows this and chooses to love boldly, even when it's hard, because she understands that her actions might be the only glimpse of hope someone gets that day. In a world that often feels divided, radical compassion is a revolutionary act. It bridges gaps, heals wounds, and reminds us that we're all deeply connected. It's a habit of showing up for others, not just when it's easy or convenient, but especially when it's not. Because in those moments, love becomes real and lives, both theirs and ours. Pursuing humility over perfection means embracing the beauty of imperfection and letting go of the impossible expectation to have it all together all the time. It's about understanding that our worth is not tied to flawless performance or outward success. Instead, it's rooted in our ability to show up as our authentic selves, even when that self feels messy, unfinished, or vulnerable. A godly woman knows that perfection is a trap. It isolates us, keeps us striving for something we can never attain, and leaves us disconnected from ourselves and others. Humility, on the other hand, opens the door to true connection. It's not about thinking less of yourself, but about thinking of yourself less. It's acknowledging that you don't have all the answers, and that's okay. A humble heart is willing to admit, I was wrong, I need help, or I don't know how to do this. It's the courage to drop the facade of having it all figured out and invite others into the truth of who you are. And when you do that, something amazing happens. You create space for others to do the same. Humility invites community. When you're not constantly focused on proving yourself, you can focus on others. You can celebrate their strengths and cheer for their wins without feeling threatened or diminished. A godly woman knows that lifting others up doesn't lower her own worth. It amplifies the beauty of everyone around her. Humility is the habit of recognizing that we're all in this together, each with our unique gifts and struggles, and no one is better or worse than anyone else. But humility doesn't mean being passive or letting others walk over you. It's a quiet confidence rooted in the understanding that you don't need to prove your value. You already have it. It's the ability to stand firm in your beliefs while still being open to learning and growing. A humble woman isn't afraid to admit when she's made a mistake, because she knows that her identity isn't tied to being perfect. Instead, she sees every misstep as an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to become better. Humility also allows you to listen to really listen. It helps you put aside the need to always be right or to have the last word. A godly woman listens not to respond, but to understand. She values the perspectives and experiences of others, even when they challenge her own. She knows that listening with humility doesn't diminish her voice. It enriches her understanding of the world. And here's the thing about humility. It's freeing. When you stop striving for perfection, you free yourself from the crushing weight of comparison and the constant need to perform. You're no longer chasing an unattainable ideal, but instead leaning into the person you were created to be. That freedom allows you to show up with joy, to embrace your quirks and imperfections, and to live fully and unapologetically. Humility doesn't seek applause or recognition. It doesn't need to be in the spotlight. A godly woman who pursues humility is content to do the work, love others, and make an impact without needing the credit. She knows that the value of her life isn't measured by how many people notice her, but by the lives she's touched along the way. At its core, humility is about surrender. It's releasing the need to control every outcome, to have all the answers, or to always be the best. It's about trusting that your worth doesn't come from what you achieve, but from who you are. And in that surrender, you find peace. A peace that comes from knowing you don't have to be perfect to be loved, valued, and enough. Choosing gratitude as a lifestyle is not about ignoring the hardships or pretending that everything is always okay. It's about intentionally shifting your focus, even in the midst of challenges, to see the blessings that still surround you. Gratitude is a choice, a deliberate decision to look beyond what's missing or broken and to appreciate what is present. It's not something that happens naturally in every situation. It's a habit that must be cultivated over time, especially when life feels heavy. Gratitude begins with awareness. It's slowing down long enough to notice the beauty in the small, everyday moments. A sunrise, a kind word from a friend, the laughter of a loved one, or even the warmth of a cup of coffee in your hands. A godly woman understands that gratitude isn't just for the big, dramatic blessings, but for the quiet, ordinary ones that often go unnoticed. It's pausing to recognize that no matter how imperfect or chaotic life may feel, there's always something to be thankful for. But gratitude isn't just about saying thank you or writing down a list of blessings. It's about a posture of the heart. It's an attitude that transforms the way you see the world and your place in it. A grateful heart doesn't dwell on what's lacking. It celebrates what's already there. This doesn't mean ignoring pain or denying struggles. It means choosing to hold both gratitude and hardship in the same hand. A godly woman can acknowledge her challenges while still finding reasons to be grateful. Gratitude doesn't erase the difficulty, but it softens it and shifts the perspective from why me to what can I learn or appreciate in this. Living a lifestyle of gratitude also requires humility. It's recognizing that the good things in your life are not just the result of your hard work or achievements, but are often gifts from others, from circumstances beyond your control, or from a higher power. Gratitude reminds us that we are not self-sufficient. We are part of a bigger story, interconnected with people and forces that bless us in ways we might never fully understand. It invites us to see life as a gift rather than something we're entitled to. One of the powerful effects of choosing gratitude is the way it changes relationships. A grateful woman naturally pours out encouragement and appreciation to others. She notices and acknowledges the efforts, kindness, and presence of the people in her life. Gratitude strengthens connections, builds trust, and fosters deeper bonds. A godly woman knows that expressing gratitude isn't just about making others feel good, it's about creating an atmosphere of love and mutual respect. Gratitude is also a form of resilience. It's a practice that allows you to endure the storms of life with grace. When things feel overwhelming, gratitude can become an anchor that keeps you grounded. By focusing on the good, even in difficult times, you build a mindset of hope and endurance. A godly woman doesn't wait for life to be perfect to be grateful. She practices gratitude in the imperfections. She knows that gratitude doesn't mean everything is good, but it helps her see that good things still exist, even in the hardest moments. And here's the secret: gratitude is contagious. When you live a life of gratitude, you inspire others to do the same. Your attitude has the power to shift the atmosphere around you. A godly woman understands that gratitude isn't just for her benefit. It's a gift she can share with others. Her words of appreciation, her ability to see the silver lining, and her joy in small blessings have a ripple effect that spreads positivity wherever she goes. Servant leadership. Gratitude is not a one-time event or an occasional practice. It's a daily choice, a lens through which you view the world. It's waking up each morning and deciding to look for the good, even when life feels uncertain. It's ending each day by reflecting on what went right, no matter how small. And over time, gratitude becomes more than a habit. It becomes a way of being. It changes how you see yourself, your circumstances, and the people around you. It's not about ignoring life's difficulties, but about choosing to focus on the beauty and blessings that exist alongside them. That choice, made day after day, transforms not just your outlook, but your heart. Committing to lifelong growth is an acknowledgement that we are all works in progress, always learning, evolving, and becoming. It's the realization that there is no final destination where you've made it, no point where you've achieved all you can and no longer need to grow. Growth is a journey, not a finish line, and a godly woman understands that her willingness to learn and change is what shapes her into the person she was created to be. But growth begins with humility, the ability to admit that you don't have it all figured out and that there's always more to learn. A godly woman knows that it's not a weakness to say, I need help, or I don't know how to do this. In fact, it's in those moments of vulnerability that the most profound growth happens. She's not afraid to ask questions, seek wisdom from others, or even fail, because she understands that every experience, whether it's a triumph or a setback, is an opportunity to learn and move forward. This commitment to growth also requires self-awareness. It's about taking an honest look at yourself, your strengths, weaknesses, habits, and attitudes, and being willing to do the hard work of self-reflection. Growth isn't about criticizing yourself or dwelling on your flaws. It's about recognizing where there's room to improve and taking intentional steps to become better. A godly woman doesn't shy away from the uncomfortable truths about herself because she knows that facing them is the first step toward transformation. Lifelong growth also demands resilience. Growth is rarely linear. It's a process of trial and error, of taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back. There will be seasons where progress feels slow or even non-existent, but a godly woman doesn't give up. She understands that growth takes time and that the most meaningful changes often happen gradually. She learns to celebrate the small victories along the way, knowing that every step forward, no matter how small, is significant. Part of committing to growth is being open to feedback. A godly woman values the perspectives of others and is willing to listen, even when it's hard to hear. She doesn't let pride or defensiveness keep her from learning. Instead, she views constructive criticism as a gift, an opportunity to see herself through someone else's eyes, and to grow in ways she might not have noticed on her own. Growth also means embracing change. Change can be uncomfortable, even scary, but it's often the catalyst for the greatest growth. A godly woman doesn't cling to what's familiar out of fear. She steps into new opportunities, trusting that growth often happens outside of her comfort zone. She's willing to take risks, try new things, and let go of old habits or mindsets that no longer serve her. She knows that every change, no matter how challenging, has the potential to bring her closer to the person she's meant to be. But lifelong growth isn't just about personal development, it's also about pouring into others. A godly woman understands that her growth isn't just for her own benefit. It's so she can serve, encourage, and uplift those around her. She shares the lessons she's learned, mentors others, and invests in relationships that foster mutual growth. She sees her own journey as part of a larger story and recognizes the impact she can have on the lives of others. And perhaps most importantly, committing to lifelong growth requires grace. A godly woman knows she will make mistakes, fall short, and have moments where she feels stuck. But she doesn't let those moments define her. Instead, she offers herself grace, picks herself back up, and keeps moving forward. She understands that growth isn't about being perfect. It's about being willing. It's about showing up every day with a heart that's open to learning, changing, and becoming. In the end, lifelong growth is a choice. It's a commitment to keep learning, to keep striving, and to keep becoming, no matter how old you are or how much you've already achieved. It's a willingness to let life shape you, refine you, and make you better. A godly woman embraces this process because she knows that growth is not just about what she does, it's about who she's becoming. And in that becoming, she reflects the beauty of a life lived with purpose, passion, and an unshakable commitment to transformation. So here's the thing. These habits aren't a checklist. They're invitations to live with courage, to love deeply, to walk humbly, to choose gratitude, and to keep growing. The habit of a godly woman isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up fully, authentically, and with a heart open to transformation. That's where the beauty is. That's where the power is. And that's the kind of woman the world desperately needs. Thank you.